Josh, you want to hang out just a little bit here? Got a quick question for you
Yes, sir. Yep.
when everybody jumps off. I think Jacob's question was kind of geared towards when you were out in his field there. He's seen, or you seen what was going on in the field there, and I think he was shooting for response to that. If you remember what you saw out there, I wasn't there. I know.
Jacob Bolson.
Yeah, Jacob Bolson. And I mean, I know he'll be on the one on, when we do the one-on-one call, just so you got a heads up on that one. So.
Let me see if I can pull that report up. Um, it's Olson, not Bolson.
Bolson with a B.
Olson. Got it. Hey, good morning. Let me share this report here. So we had a couple of abundant pathogens, in particular Pythium root rot, bacterial leaf streak, northern corn blight, um, Lance nematode. So we did get a nematode. It was flagged as abundant in that field. So those could be potential. Oh, it looks like the keeps going. We got a good number of. We also have root knot, southern rust, gray leaf spot, root lesion nematode. Seems as if there's a lot of nematode in here. So yeah, it could be any of these.
Would that be one sample versus the other then, or is that just the
Yeah.
whole sample?
Let's see. Let me see where I collected those samples. So, um,
Yeah, I'm just trying to find if I got the messages. Get the quick reminder.
so what we did was inner and then intra. So it was inner. Gosh, how do I share? So intra.
Can you see my picture here? The one I'm showing on my phone.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think
Yep.
I think that's what you were in the field and you noticed that, and can't remember if that's what you sampled or what the conversation. Oh, let's see. Yeah, intra
Yep.
row was strip tilled. The inner row has not been touched. That was the plan. But then
So yeah. So intra is sampling. Intra was sampled.
it was strip till versus in between the row, I think, is what the plan was.
No. Well, intra was sampling basically within the same row between the plants. So intra is really up and close and personal to the root, whereas the inter was in the mid row.
Yeah.
So I think if we're looking for like pressure or pathogen pressure or whatever it may be, we wanna if we're seeing any negative things, intra is going to be the indicator. So um, intra. This is closer to the root where we were seeing some of those issues. We had low nitrogen fixation. We had high sulfur reduction. We had low mycorrhizal abundance. So there were two additional flags just on the base report that we were seeing in the intra versus the inner. Um, So it does seem as if the as if that sample was kind of, and they both scored a 4.6. The one that was intro was kind of, and that makes sense. You know, the samples pulled really close to one another. But as it relates to the potential pressure from a pathogen perspective, let's see, we actually had more abundant in the inner versus the intra. Um, but in particular, it could be that root knot nematode that is making its way from the mid row into the actual root area, the root zone. So if and this is the beauty of you know why we like to focus on the rhizosphere is this is a lot of noise on the right here as it relates to the pathogen pressure.
Yep.
This on the left here is closer to the root zone, and so it's more indicative of what actually made it into the root area. So of all these pathogens on the right that were abundant going into that root area, looks like gray leaf spot, um, stratum, bacterial stripe, and leaf spot, and root knot nematode were likely the culprits as it relates to, you know, what was happening in that field.
My guess, looking at the picture I showed you, and the rot nematode would be the, because I think we've seen that too, and trying to figure out what's causing it. Yeah,
Um,
pretty smart people out here, and it wasn't until a year or so later when we seen it on a field that it shouldn't happen, starting to happen, and we pulled the nematode samples and found it.
was that the same field?
No, this was on my field.
Okay.
Like I said, I had one we pushed corn pretty hard on here. It happened a couple years ago, and then the part I don't understand is it seems to be happening on the fields we should have the most diversity.
Yeah.
All the cover crop experts and that say diversity solves all this, or I have a problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Like I said, when you sent them pictures of Jacob's field, I'm like, oh, we've seen that before. Yeah, but anthracnose is. Are you testing anything for anthracnose?
That's a good question. I'll have to reach out to our bioinformatics and see if that's one of the populations that we screened for.
Yeah, that's what I used to think. I mean, we got one field where the outside rounds, mine and the neighbors, for some reason, are along the gravel road. It shows anthracnose issues all the time. This year, I sprayed with fungicide and I didn't see any, so I don't know if that has something why fungicide would affect anthracnose. I'd have to research that a little more, but I haven't had time to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
So,
Would you say that this is informative, this report? I mean,
oh,
I want
that's
to,
be ready when we have your gun loaded when we do Jacob's one on one is why I'm bringing this up. So, like I said, because
um,
he was the one last year. He's like, man, this is a really good PhD dissertation, but
yeah.
need to bring it down to what can your average person, or we're going to need somebody that can translate some of this to your average farmer.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at images of like what the plants look like under
Yeah, I
nematode pressure, and it looks very similar to what we saw in Bolson's field. So I mean, the visual signal, and then also we had that visual signal, and then we also had it show up in the report. So,
yeah. Well,
um,
like I said, if you could, because you go back to that text chain, if we can verify that, that'd be pretty cool. And but that brings it full circle that why he was asking the turnaround time too. So
yeah.
just seeing it in June and not knowing what's going on until December, if we can get that down to that 2 week time frame or 3 week, that'd be pretty cool.
So this is I guess the photo of I'm gonna take my blur off.
Still got yours. Is
Well,
that one you took?
this is Bolson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that an indicator to y'all at all of root knot?
Well, to me, that is anthracnose early on. And that,
Okay.
that's what we thought we were dealing with on when we started seeing it out show up out in the middle of fields like you saw at Bolson's.
Yeah.
But I'd have to study what that what was it, root knot nematode? It was a grass-eating nematode that's working on ours.
How do you spell anthracno?
AthachanCos. I don't know. Hooked on phonics, summed it out.
Anthrose. I think it's SE. Maybe it's just S. Anthracnose. NOSE. Yeah, I like that that you are zooming in on your nematodes and diseases in this platform. And I know it's just it's in its early stages, but I think with these products, we're looking at some products ourselves that are startups that's got nematode capabilities of fighting nematodes in soils. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited about. We worked pretty diligently this year on developing out and adding in those nematode populations. And so I'm really confident in our ability to do our pathogen panel now.
It is a lot of information, and I don't know, Lauren, being a farmer, the way I see it is, I mean, you being a farmer, the way I see it is that it is so much information, and which is great, but I know they're drinking out of a hose when it goes for, 20 minutes of this and this and this and this, but I don't know how to simplify that. I mean, you guys will have to, like he said, kind of dumb it down, but it, I would be in the same boat. I mean, from what this has shown me today is, man, you're dialing it in tight, but there's just so much information we need to say, okay, at the end of the day, what do I do? Which way do I go? Or that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Just throwing out
yeah,
some
and
breadcrumbs.
yeah, and I think having like a total score for nitrogen, for instance,
Hmm.
instead of having 4 or 5 scores for nitrogen.
I think you're right, definitely right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
organic, it doesn't matter. It just that total would help them make a decision. And I know this is what it is. It's a decision-making tool,
yeah,
and it's what they're used to, especially
yeah,
when it comes to your nitrogen applications.
yeah. And that I would say so we'll work on that. I think having a just kind of the first page is 1 score for nitrogen, 1 score for phosphorus, 1 score for whatever it may be. And then if they want to get further down into the data, we have it on the second or third page as it relates to why, or I guess those other pathways. I think that that's a really good point there. And so, um, before we go into these meetings with the ag launch farmers, we might consider, doing that. So it's a it's kind of a big lift, I would say, to change the structure and design of the report, but I'll feed that information back to the team and we'll see if we can implement it beforehand. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I wouldn't take anything out that because there is a set amount of time that you are going to be able to be with the farmer, but just to let him go away with, hey, this platform told me a lot, but he just didn't get drenched with it. And then
with
just
data.
like Lauren said, glassy-eyed, PhD level is the way they're thinking. But when it actually is, you're trying to explain to them, your soils are doing this, and we're 90%, 95% sure it is. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah,
Like I said, we've got different sects of farmers. I mean, the Ryan Gibbs and folks like that, they're gonna eat this stuff right up.
yeah,
Yeah.
But then the Jacob Bolson, he's more corporate. He just wants the red light, green light. You know, and
yeah,
that's why I always liked your red, red, yellow, green.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
most farmers are going to be in the red, yellow, green category. But on the flip side, still catering to the guys that want that hard information is going to be kind of neat too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And going back to, I know it's probably a frustration for the farmer that it's taken us so long to get this data out. And
Hmm.
our, I think it fell back on maybe our, I would say, study design. Looking back in time, if we were to start this and do this from the beginning, I think doing just the control of the farmer, running the sample, not waiting for biological input manufacturers to sponsor treatments and things of that nature. That's what we were waiting for, and that's why it took us so
Hmm.
long, is because we had to close on other business, or we were trying to close on other business, but that's not, I don't think that's the right approach. We should have approached it as soon as we receive the sample, we'll get it in the greenhouse, let's get it going, and then we'll provide a diagnostic. Um, so that's a good
Hmm.
learning for us. And it's I guess looking hindsight's 2020, right?
Oh
So
yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But your farmer facing is that's the end customer there. No matter if you go to ag retail and say this is the best thing that you should be pushing, Mr. Agronomist, but it's who you are talking to today that's going to pay the bills.
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the way I would phrase it is, you got two sales cycles in row crop: in season and prepay.
And we're in that right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, prepay basically starts in September.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys aren't even barely harvesting, and guys are trying to sell them something. So you want to have the relevant information, before prepay. But then, go back to like Jacob Bolson's. When you see something in season, that's the easiest time to, if you can reassure him that a product's going to work quick, or for future reference, if we could at least get something out there and see that, you verify it on paper and he'd see it in the field, that's a
Mhm.
lifelong customer right there.
yeah. Do you think that there's a potential that we'll get lifelong customers through these engagements?
Oh, impress the hell out of them.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I
yeah,
mean, that's the simplest way to get customers. I mean,
yeah.
on
I
sell, over deliver.
Yeah, and I do really think that a focus for us is going to be, unfortunately, with this technology, we got to get access to the root, you know,
Hmm.
and it's not, it's our recommendations are best for in furrow, optimizing that first 1 to 2 week of propagation. Although, we can still inform on pathogen pressure. And so if there's a herbicide or fungicide that treatment that needs to be made, that can be made from this data in season. But the way that I'm thinking about it is spring, fall, let's get the soil, let's get access to the seed. It might take a year of testing, of A/B testing and whatnot to look at this data, but maybe we can inform on the next year's optimal seed genetics and or optimal biologicals. But farmers need data now. And so unless we have the ability to collect samples in the fall, and then we can get these seed dealers access to the grow box where they can do the A/B testing on site or close to the farmer, so that they can make decisions before they make any sort of pre-sale purchases or any sort of spring purchases. We could do that type of testing before all of that occurs. But it's all a timing thing. And I think it's a distribution of the technology into key stakeholders that have access to the seed is going to be really critical for us. And so it helps a little bit. It helps us to really hone in on who exactly we need to focus on from a sales perspective. We know we need to get this into the hands of the seed dealers. We know we need to get these in the hands of the retailers that are working with the different seeds so that we can get the answers to the farmers questions quickly. So
Yeah, you said you had you're taking pre-orders now.
we are.
uh, can you share what kind of numbers you're looking at?
Well, this is a really new development of distribution of this grow box.
Yeah.
But I've been socializing over the last 2 weeks, and we have about 5 pre-orders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I know, I never heard of the grow box until today.
Yeah.
I can see what road you're taking for simplicity, but the farmer definitely isn't going to jump on that
Yeah.
bandwagon.
Yeah.
But your ag retailers, only some of them will that are really deep into it because
Yeah.
just like the ag retailer for Loran, let's say, this guy is going to have a ag retailer that has been his lifelong friend forever.
Yeah.
And that guy has a reputation to behold when you're bringing in this grow box and he's taking soils and seed from Loran's fields and growing them out. He doesn't want to mess it up. And he may feel a
Yeah.
little he may feel a little pressured that he has got to get this up to V2 before he can harvest it and send it back to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So uh, he's actually trying to grow this stuff when he's actually in the field as well, getting his
Yeah.
clients, the
The,
Lorens of the world.
yeah.
So
The cool thing about this grow
yeah,
box is you put the soil in, you put the seed in, maybe you do the treatment, and then you put the water in, you close the box and you leave it there for 2 weeks. So it's not
really,
hands-on. It's really what we're doing is germination grows. It's like germination studies, essentially.
really. Okay. And what's
Yeah.
this box made of? What's the material?
Plastic.
Really? Okay. Can't wait to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot
Yeah.
me one and I'll start playing with it down here.
Yeah. Sounds good. And I will say I think that it may be that the specialty crop industry is more receptive to this type of grow box because they have the nurseries, and they are doing these germination, plugs and all of that. And so,
Mhm.
it could be that the watermelon or in Florida or California or wherever it may be, those might be more up our alley as it relates to people that might be a little bit more receptive to it. But so we may not focus on corn and beans just based off of
Okay.
the receptivity of the grower and the tight margins to be able to conduct this testing. But
Cool.
yeah, I think we're revisiting, we're pivoting, we're trying to get these things out into the market, and I think to date it's been pretty receptive. We've had a lot of in particular, this could be a tool for the biological manufacturers too, to help to sell their product and show the benefit of their product to the farmer without the farmer buying, a thousand a 1,000 gallon tote.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that was your first go-to market strategy is, have that done. I've got to jump, guys. But
Here. So good catching
it,
up. Thanks for
Yep.
sticking on there. And
yep, it's good seeing you, Josh.
Thanks,
And
Paul. Good to
Lauren,
see
thank
you.
you.
we can talk later, man. I've got
Will
about
do.
an
I got to go to
hour.
a board meeting and that here. So it's going to be a wild day. So
Okay.
later.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks.